All right, everybody. Welcome back to the third episode of The Root, the Purdue Exponent's official podcast, where we get to the root of the issue. I'm your host, CJ, and I'm joined always by my co-host, Quint Holguin. I'm just kidding, of course. Quint is no longer with us.
In the podcast, he's alive.
He is alive.
He's alive.
He's alive and well, but until further notice, he probably will no longer be my co-host, which is unfortunate. But he's in a better place. Again, still alive. But
this is the take. I don't know about this one, CJ.
I am joined by two fellow Exponent employees. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, Conrad.
I'm Conrad. I'm the opinions editor. I'm CJ's boss.
Oh yeah, you might recognize him from our unofficial pilot episode. And here we have Charlie.
Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm the photo and video editor
For the Purdue Exponent, of course.
for the Purdue.
Well, yeah.
So I can kind of speak on it a little bit.
Go ahead.
'Cause Quint and I were on staff together. So yeah, Quint was our assistant campus editor at the Exponent, and he co-hosted the podcast. But he has decided that he will no longer be with the Exponent. And yeah, so he won't be on anymore. But we were happy to have him.
Yeah.
And I think that leads into kind of what we wanted to get into today, which is just kind of like phases of life and like transitioning between things. Charlie is in his last semester here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm old as hell.
I'm also, this is the beginning of my senior year, so we've all been around the block. You know, this isn't our first rodeo. And our lives have changed pretty, what's the word I'm
Heavily?
thinking of? Heavily, yes,
Heavily.
thank you very much. Yeah. So, Quint, we had a great one. Kids will tell we'll tell our kids about the generational run that we had.
People will say like, "Oh man, the Root has never been as good since Quint left." That's what people will say, and we'll be like, "There's 50
I was
episodes,
about to say.
and he was on 2 of them."
But all things must come to an end.
Yeah.
Wow,
and-
I'm flustering. My speech is
I know,
off.
it's a little.
Quint's
sad.
not here.
It's a little sad.
I'm really
We're
crestfallen.
getting
I don't
used
know
to
what
it.
to do.
I think it's, we want to be clear. He decided that it was a lot of time commitment was
Yeah.
a big thing for him, and he just didn't feel like he was getting enough
Yeah.
out of the Exponent for what he wants to do in the future. And there's no hard feelings. We're happy. I mean, sad that he's gone,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
happy that he's making the right choices for himself. So, yeah, and I think I can kind of start this off if you guys
Take us away.
I was thinking about it, where it's just like, I think it was a really hard decision for him. I talked to him, and because it's hard to, you've got all your friends, and he loved doing this podcast, and he loved writing for us, but sometimes you really just need to like move to the next stage in things. I think a good example is I have a friend, and she was here at Purdue, and then she made a lot of friends here. That's how we met, and she changed her major, and then applied to a different school, which had a much better program for her major, and she got in, and she called me, and she was like, I don't know how to tell people, like I'm, transferring schools. And I was like, well, yeah, it's sad that you won't be here, but like we're happy, as your friends, we're going to be happy that you got into somewhere that's going to advance your career and be good for what you need to be doing. And I think that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, that happened with me. I mean, I went to a really small high school, so I knew everybody, and everybody was really close. I mean, even if you didn't like somebody, you had to act like you liked him because
Mhm.
like word traveled really fast. And I remember it all clicked for us around graduation, like just how long we've known each other and how much we've been together. And now that it's been like almost 4 years since I've graduated, I don't see those people a lot. And even when I see them, like on my Instagram feeds and stuff, everybody's doing something different. Like everybody's really turned into themselves. And I find myself thinking about high school a lot, not in like a weird way, not in like, wow, I peaked in high school or anything, but I just play pieces of time, specific points of time are very sacred to me because even if things are getting better or like I'm really happy with where I am now in life, nothing will be quite like it was a year ago, 4 years ago, or even like 2 months ago. Like there's so many phases of life, and I just feel like I'm very nostalgic. I'm a very nostalgic type of guy. What about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I would say the same. I mean, I'm. This is my last semester here. I'm. I'm kind of a super senior, I guess. This is my 8th semester, but I'm graduating in the fall. A little bit shifted past my typical
Yeah,
year's
he's
graduation.
Wow, yeah, you're old,
Yeah.
dude. Maybe the oldest guy here.
uh, and I really like. I love Purdue. I'm definitely like confident with my decision to transfer here. I came from a community college after high school, and not knowing really where I wanted to go because I knew what I wanted to do, but location and program didn't necessarily have a. It wasn't a big part of why I chose where I wanted to go, and I kind of live my life by. There are things that like happened in the past that I might regret. Like coming to Purdue, was it the right choice? I don't know, but I'm here now and I'm really enjoying where I am. It
Yeah.
could be worse somewhere else. It could be better somewhere else, but my life right now, where I'm at, even if I've gone through, you know, big ups and downs on the way here, like I wouldn't be on this podcast right now. And this is a lot of
This is
fun.
very true.
I wouldn't be a editor for a independent student newspaper, which I didn't think I would be 4 months ago, and you know,
You wouldn't be able to sit in your dark little corner all
now my
day.
dark little corner with Sawyer.
Charlie sits in the office, way in the back, far away from everybody else. Lights always off. Uh,
Yeah, there are lights back
There
there.
are lights back there, and they do work.
They
And when
work
they're on,
very
I
well.
turn them off.
do you focus better in the dark? You
No,
think?
Nobody hides better.
I hide it. I don't know. It's more calming being
Yeah.
in an office. I have a unique situation, like unlike most of the editors, where I only have a single class, and if I'm not in that one class, I'm at my desk in the office. And so, being with the bright lights plus 3 computer screens in front of me, I like to balance it out by being in my dark cave.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially because of how off track we can get in the office when
Oh yeah.
we start to congregate and
Yeah.
talk about a variety of subjects.
Right.
Not usually related to the news.
Yeah, and I think Charlie, you are a good person to have here because I feel like I kind of have that. Well, it's like you're a great guy, and it's like, oh man, this is your last semester. Like I'm meeting you in your last semester,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh, that's a shame. But then also it's like, well, I'm like you said, if you had done the done in 4 years the standard route, it's like, well, I wouldn't have met you at all.
Yeah.
So is that better? And I would say no. I did want to bring up our very own Marilyn Logan.
Marin.
Yeah, Exponent treasure, world treasure, really. But she wrote a beautiful column last year called "Grief is Also for the
Oh my
Living."
God. A
Oh,
great
yeah.
column.
And she talks about essentially writing like eulogies for the living, and it's the experiences of like meeting people that you feel you really connect with. Like you're like, oh, this is like a person that like I could be best friends with, but then also like, but you meet them at times where it's like, I'm gonna know you for 6 months.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that sucks. And I feel like I was only really emotionally mature enough to realize that in college, because like I said, I grew up with the same people in school, and so you just kind of think to yourself like, oh, I'm gonna know these guys forever. How could we ever lose touch? and I'm still grateful to know a lot of people I went to high school with. All the guys I live with right now, I've known my whole life. But there were other people that, I'd have a lot of classes with that I was like, we're not going to the same college, but how could we possibly lose touch? And we have. And now that I'm in college, especially, everybody's from all over the place, and it gets a little daunting to think like, man,
Yeah,
I gotta.
I think that's a thing people don't like to think about, but it's like
Yeah.
when you graduate, there's going to be a lot of people that you talk to now that you will lose touch with, which is sad. It's a sad thing, but as we joke about sometimes, I'm a few years older. I dropped out of school my freshman year because I got sick, worked through some things, came back. Through all that, I've met a lot of people along the way, and a lot of people that were people of that moment. And I don't know. I've developed an understanding where it's like I have a lot of people here at Purdue and at the Exponent who I'm really strong friends with. And it's like I've shared things with, and we've laughed, we've cried, all these things. But it's like I'm just not gonna be, like you after you graduate, it's gonna be like we'll have each other's numbers and we'll send each other something occasionally, but it'll drop off, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy, I'm not mad at those people. They're not mad at me. It's okay.
Yeah.
Happens faster than you think it does most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, literally when I got here, I made like great friends at BGR, good guys, and we like every week we try to meet up at a dining court. But after a while, it felt like I was the only one asking everybody to hang out, and yeah, we just never really saw each other again. And I think that's when it really hit me early on that like people come and go, like really, because again, like it was all people I knew growing up and family, and you don't really ever stop to think like, oh, one day I'm not gonna have my family, one day I'm not gonna have these people I grew up with in school all the time. And so I guess I've really been reeling that in these past few years too.
Yeah, but I don't want this to be like a bummer episode.
I
Like,
know.
well, it again, like I'm saying, like it's melancholy to think about, but it is a thing where it's like the experiences now still matter.
Yeah.
Just knowing that, like, I'm not gonna talk, and you never know. There will be some people who you probably stay in touch with.
Yeah, for better or worse.
For better or for worse. My parents still talk. They still have some friends from high school, and that was before social media and before cell phones and stuff. So there's some that'll stick through.
Yeah.
But I think what's important is the experiences we have now, and the things you learn from people now. Like those are things you'll carry with you, even after you're not talking. And understanding that like sometimes like the hurt from things can come from holding on to something like too tightly, where if you are the person who's like, no, we have to like keep talking, we have to do this, like, no, you can't, it's like if we like stopped Quint from leaving.
We begged him.
And it's like this
I
is
kind of
just
begged him.
well, I was like, oh, it'll be sad, but if this is not where he thinks he needs to be right now, like we're not doing him a service.
Yeah. God. The vibe of this and the way we talk about him, I'm sorry, it's really hard to not think he's either dead or like canceled.
Yeah, he's neither of those. We love him.
He's very good. He's
very good.
awesome.
Very much alive.
We played video games last night.
Yeah, and we hope he continues working on stuff in his own way. Charlie, you got just general? Sorry to put you on the spot. I felt like I cut you off earlier.
I hate, yeah.
I mean, I have a very similar experience with like you, CJ, and BGR friends. I came in with the transfer group and kind of mixed like BGR groups and stuff. Like had a good group of friends we saw each other pretty much every day for the first like 2-3 months, and which I wasn't necessarily expecting. Part of the reason why I came to Purdue as a junior, not knowing anyone, is that two of my best friends go here. I ended up living with them last year. I've known one of them since my freshman year of high school, the other one since I was 5 years old. So like having some familiarity here was very important for me. But I got really lucky early on with this friend group, and then mid-October that first semester, never saw any of them again. And there was a while that I held on to that, like, why aren't we seeing each other? What's going on? And then once I got the start of the spring semester was really rough. Just like the two friends I do have that I hear, like, they're engineering students. They're really busy. Don't see them as much as I'd like to. The other group of friends, just AWOL. Once I kind of let that go and then start to see just talk to other people, like, expand, not just be like, oh, why am I not with these people? Or I could be with other people. Then that mindset of like, oh, do I miss that? Sure, but now I'm not here.
Yeah.
I'm not with this new group.
Do you think that, like, those friends, that time was like what you needed for, like, intro to Purdue?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That start was like, I was very appreciative of like being with that group for the time that I was. Like I said, we saw each other all the time. We knew which days. Some of us had the same lunch break. We get lunch. We get dinner most nights. It was like football season. We were in a draft together. We'd go, even though I don't really care about football at all, we'd go watch football all the time. Played volleyball, the sand courts, almost every night until like 1 a.m. It was a.
Were you good?
Not at the start,
Ooh.
and not really throughout, but I got better, and I didn't really care that I wasn't good. I was just having fun, and I was just hanging out with a bunch of people. It definitely helped the transition from. I mean, I had 3 semesters of community college. I got my associates in 3 semesters, and I took a gap before coming here, but they were all online. It was the late effects of COVID. End of high school was all online. Pretty much all the classes that my college had to offer were either late at night in person or online. So 'cause I was working, I was doing all online. So having that transition of all of a sudden, after being alone for so long, I'm with a bunch of people, definitely helped ease me in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, kind of like Conrad was saying, it's melancholic, but it's also just beautiful that it happens.
Yeah.
That you get to have experiences like that you cherish, that you might not ever get to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's nice. And I feel like we, as people, are kind of like sponges, and we sort of like take a little bit of everything and everybody that we see, and we kind of carry that with us. And that was kind of corny, and I don't necessarily subscribe to like everything happens for a reason, but everything that happens, you can give it a reason. You can.
You can take something from it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if it's something bad, even if it's something good, I don't think it's good to like mope around and be sad and like look back in a way that's like regretful and like I miss this, and not a way of I'm glad this happened.
And I think also, like I don't want the lesson from this to be like, oh, well, I'm not going to be friends with these people anyway, so, like, I don't have to, like, enjoy the time you have. And if someone decides, it could be you, could be someone else, that they're, like, moving on. Some people, they graduate, different city. Some people decide they need, like, a clean break. Like, some people will say that. Other people just kind of drift off. And that's fine.
Yeah. That's how life is. And I think now that we're all getting older, it's to the point where you kind of recognize that, like I was saying. But it's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice that we get to have times like this.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got Charlie.
I like
Yeah.
you, Charlie.
I like Charlie
Thank
too.
you.
It's funny. Me and Charlie worked on a story about a year ago.
Yeah, my first ever solo story was with you, and I am glad it was with you because I don't know if I would have stayed.
Oh, well, thanks. But
what we were doing, we were just walking around the wall.
Yeah. I was trying to find it was like a man on the street. I was trying
Yeah.
to talk to people about like the walkability of campus, and Working with a photog can sometimes they're very quiet and sometimes they're not engaging, which is fine. You know, we're on the job, but we started talking pretty easily, and
Pretty
like
quickly.
we ended up working on other
On a couple.
yeah
couples in.
because we just already like knew each
Mhm.
other pretty well. Turns out, you know my roommate Tyler,
do
who
know
I've
your roommate,
known for
Tyler.
years, and that was so funny to me. And that's just one of the funny things that I love about being here at Purdue is who knows who.
Who knows?
And now that I'm a senior, like I can't go a day without stopping and seeing somebody I know. And I love
Really?
that. I love that a lot.
That's
I
nice.
love knowing that I've interacted with so many people. That's epic to me. That's an epic
I
gamer
hide from
moment.
CJ when I see him out.
I know. I've
hide.
never ran into Conrad out in the wild. I actually think I saw him once, and he immediately booked it in the
No,
opposite
that must have been
direction.
someone else. You must be
I don't know.
mistaken.
Yeah, that first story, I was terrified.
Really?
Yeah, I joined the Exponent I'm studying photography, which not a lot of people at this school do. Since last year was my real senior year, there was maybe 7 of us in the photos program that graduated. Very small. But I wanted to have some sort of job, regardless of like what capacity. And I've never done anything. I've never done any photojournalism or anything like that before. All the photography I've done has been very artistic or like leading nature and wildlife stuff. And so I just wanted to change, and just being like with a reporter on a story, interviewing people. I was like, but like you were a great way to ease me into
Thanks,
the role,
And now you're here.
and now I'm here.
man. I know. Now we've dragged you onto the podcast.
I did mess up that story a lot because I kind of just took photos of you, which
Yeah.
I realized I wasn't supposed to do.
I didn't know that either, but
Because that was also your first solo story, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was solo. Like
So we put
Go-
2 new people together.
it was my first time doing like man on the street stuff, where
Mhm.
like I had to I didn't have a planned interview. I had to like walk up to people, and on paper I'm not really great at that, which is weird, considering it's like the job. But I think being able to like talk to you and know that like it was more sort of like we were walking around talking to people about something semi interesting,
Yeah,
and that made that a lot better for the both of us apparently,
definitely.
and it made it a better experience.
We're both
That's-
still here.
And that story came out all right.
My first story. Started here actually in print and then copy. Now I do opinions. I've stayed away from news, but
Yeah.
I did do one. I did a single interview
Just one.
story. As a joke, I was in the conference room, just hanging out, waiting for stuff to come in, and they went around the newsroom, and it's like, who wants to do this? And someone raises and they go around. They go, who doesn't have a story? And as a joke, I raised my hand, and then they said, do you want to do the story? And I said, no. And then they were like, too bad. And then afterwards, they were like, oh, but for real, you don't have to do it. And I'm like, no, we're in this now. And then I found out after I did it that they were supposed to send like a reporter with me to show me how to do it. But Cooper Thielen, who is a great reporter that we have, was on the reporter desk, thought of that, and then thought that if he said something, it would have to be him. So he said nothing. Love Cooper.
Such a Cooper move.
Yeah. I do
Love
want to
Cooper.
just kind of touch on sort of the other facet here, which is like transitions. Because I think the Exponent has a lot of that, where we have a lot of people who are not going into journalism. We have
Mhm.
some, but not a lot. And so the Exponent is very much like a stage for a lot of people, where you learn the skills that you can get from it, whether that's managing people, writing, photo, like just working with people, stuff like that. And then for some people, I think like Quint got what he needed from it and decided there were other places, and we've had other people where they've just decided there are other things that for what they want to do is better for them.
Yeah.
And I think that happens to us all at some point, and I guess what I want to touch on is just remembering that it's hard for other people to make those transitions. it's like not everyone in some ways wants to graduate. You're here, you have all your friends. And so, just be kind to people. Is I guess kind of what I
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, be kind to me because I'm sometimes one of those people. Like, I talk about high school a lot, and it's probably annoying and it's probably weird. But again, it's not because, God, I wish I was a teenager again. It was just like that was a very familiar, very different time. That was special to me, and I think about it often.
Can I ask, do you still talk to any of those people?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of them that go here, but there's even some like I have a core group of friends who I've never lost touch with, and I'm very grateful for that. And then there's a few people that maybe they went to this state or that state, and I'll text them and we'll pick up like nothing happened, and I am grateful for that. But it just it didn't hit the same because in high school, like I said, everybody knew everybody, and I reached that point of familiarity here that when it's over, it's like, what do I do now? And I'm sure in like 4 years I'll be doing great. Hopefully.
You will.
Thank you, Charlie. So will you, and so will you, Conrad. We're all very talented. And I'll be wherever I am in life, and I'll look back on this time again, not like, man, I wish I was young and I could go to parties again. It's just like there's a very is a very specific point in time with specific memories, specific moments that can't be replicated, and I've accepted that now. And that sounds sad, but I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful
I
that
think it's great.
you can experience something so unique, good or bad, that it just cannot happen again, and you have it. It's almost like an object because of how unique it is and how it's not going to be the same for anybody else.
And we do want to get to a little news at the end of this. So
Oh yeah, I forgot we do that.
Yeah.
I forget every
we have
episode.
to do that. But we do whatever we want.
We do.
That's opinions desk at the Exponent.
So when Conrad was talking about what do people get out of the Exponent, me, I get this podcast, and I get to write about movies all the time. That's what I realize I like.
So
to
sort
do.
of sum up, final thoughts. I guess my final thoughts are just like there are people who come and go in your life, and that's okay. And just value the time you have with them, and what you have with them still matters. You will be like that for other people. And just like there are times when we need to move to the next stage, and it's okay to do that. It's hard, but it's what needs to be done.
Absolutely. Charlie?
Yeah, and be kind to yourself. When there's, I've been saying, friends and acquaintances that we have that come and go, sometimes you have to be that person that goes, and you might not want to. I know not. This is my last semester here, and I didn't think I'd want to be here, and now I really want to stay here, and I'm not going to be here in the spring, but I'm going to have to go, and that is okay. So if something, whether it's for just, that's the flow of college, it's the flow of whatever, if you need to change states, if you need to change jobs, change whatever, do it if it's what's best for you, regardless of.
It's better, even if it's a short amount of time, it's better that you had it than not at all.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm only here for a semester as an editor. I really enjoy it so far. Hopefully that stays the same thing, same way the whole semester, but it happened.
That's called foreshadowing.
And Conrad, I talked to you about this before, but it's kind of like I might be too old to go to Sky Zone, but at least I went. And I'm sad that I can't go to Sky Zone without people looking at me asking why this 20-year-old's at Sky Zone. But
yeah, but if enough of us go, then the children are the ones that are like the smaller number.
Don't get me started on Sky Zone.
You would think that.
Don't get me started on Sky Zone, man.
Over the summer, a few of my friends and I went to this one diner called the Choo Choo Diner. And at the bar, there's a train that delivers your food. And when I was a kid, we loved going there. And we were like, oh, it's still open. Let's go check it out. And we walk in. 4 22-year-old college-age boys walk in, and there's 16 toddlers. And you could feel the eyes staring.
Did you push them out of the way? I'm like, I'm going to the train.
We went and got pizza at somewhere else.
Dang. They took the train from you.
they did take the train.
And that's okay.
And that's
that's
okay.
okay.
That's the moral of the story. It's gonna be okay.
And now on to the news.
Now to the news. Because the Exponent does the news.
Do the news.
Who's got the news? Who? I know it's right in front of me. But if I pick it up, it's gonna.
Yeah, but that's what's it called? Like, it's like sound. It's called like in the
All right.
background noise, you know?
So there's a lot
Texture.
of.
Texture. No.
If only there was a soundboard
No.
to break some of the intensity here. But there's a lot of city stuff on this paper. Stuff that smarter people would be able to talk about better. There's a new city councilor, which I think there's been a lot of city council news, especially with like SK Hynix going on, and the housing crisis. And I think while it's not necessarily the most interesting for some people, I think it's important to keep in touch with stuff like that, because it becomes interesting because you realize how many students like yourself are affected by what happens in the city and how it's going to affect people after you. So, pop in and check out what's going on in the city.
We had a story in the Thursday edition that was about the solar farm,
Oh, yes.
which sort of like kind of good mirror is the SK Hynix thing. Part of the thing is that a bunch of people now are like, we don't really want this, and it's like, well, we've taken the vote already.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the story here is that some counselors and the mayor even is like, I don't know how much can be done at this point. I know there's maybe a lawsuit still going, so that
I
might be
believe so.
something. But other than that, but the solar thing, which is called the company's Rainbow Trout, which confused me for
Very
a
fun
while.
name. You'd think it'd be like fish, yeah.
They want to put in this big solar farm, and they had a hearing, and basically they've paused it. They had like a close 4-3 vote, and we sent our lovely campus editor Emily, and they were there for like 7 hours. It started at like 7 p.m. It was like a late one, and they were done at like 2 in the morning.
Tough.
Yikes.
So, we do. That is part of the job. We get out there and
A trooper.
yeah,
They're a
not
trooper.
me though, because I don't do the news.
Yeah.
You know what else is on this paper?
What else?
Did you miss the call out?
Oh, yeah.
If you missed the call out, you can email our editor-in-chief at editor@purdueexponent.org to join.
And-
So
which you should do because
you should do, because we need, and especially if you want to join digital.
digital.
Please.
We do some great things in digital. I think it's a really fun desk. I'm
Right.
too old to be on the desk.
I agree that it's fun. I'm on digital and I have a good time. I try and make stuff that people will like. The kids these days.
Charlie gave me a look. I don't have the phone literacy to be on the desk. I tried it. They were very nice to me. It was like they were helping their like grandparent like connect to Facebook. It took me like an hour and a half to edit a little video together as I watched the rest of them do like 3 each. And I politely said, guys, this is not for me. So maybe it's for you though.
Do you know what chopped means? All right. Anyway, there's an opinion piece that I think we'd like to talk about by John Miles. Very good stuff. About AI. AI is everywhere these days, and I think he actually raised a very interesting point. It's a really good column, and I think everybody should read it. But the part that I really
What's it
found
called?
interesting. Oh, it's The New Renaissance. Purdue needs a stronger stance on AI. And I agree. He mentions that in classes where AI is going to be used, probably in the future workforce, and professors are banning it, they're actually doing students like a disservice. And I never really thought about it like that before because it's so new. And he talks about that too, but I just mean it's a good point to be like, kind of like when the internet was first starting out, like you don't really have an option now whether to be on the internet
Yeah,
or
but
not.
a lot of people are like, should we be trying to ban it? And it's like, oh, we'll pass.
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Way
it's
past that.
which I think I have very mixed feelings on AI. There's definitely places it can be useful, but as a creative,
I
they
agree.
try to shove it in the creative field way too often, and it
Makes
sticks.
me a bit depressed.
It sticks a lot more than I'd like to admit. But in terms of STEM, there's definitely a lot of useful aspects of it, and I do think it's interesting that it's basically like I'm comparing it to the internet in the sense that it's gonna be unavoidable pretty soon.
And even
Everything
for
is AI. It feels.
yeah, even for like Charlie's a photographer. I write. CJ does movies and writes and does a whole bunch of things for us. And the thing is, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff about AI making art and does it steal from people and sort of that sort of thing, which is concerning. But the best way to like protect yourself from that is to understand it
Yeah.
better. And if you just like lock it away and you're like, I'm not gonna ever touch AI, then you don't know how it's doing what it's doing.
Yeah. That's what they say in my film classes too. Like, I'm gonna avoid it as much as possible, but I have to understand it to know how to avoid it. Like, cause it's getting to the point where some studios expect it or prefer it, and I think in most creative fields, if you know how to like beat it, I guess you can only do that by kind of messing with it. But there's the environmental part of it, which
Yeah.
about the absurd amount of water that it uses that I feel like it's brushed over, and
For sure.
and I know it's very convenient. AI like ChatGPT is very convenient, but it's not very good.
If
No.
people want an environmental episode, we will have Emily on,
Emery,
who is keyed in.
so keyed into the environment they are indeed. Uh,
One of the things about AI, with not only just like environmental aspects, but the fact that it's become such a prevalent figure in like society, unfortunately, right now, is like, and I used to use it like in the early days when it was
Whoa.
like new and like, oh, this
Canceled.
is cool, but the like it's it satisfies our need for instant like gratification,
mm.
and that's kind of ruining us, I feel.
Oh yeah,
The amount of things that, yeah, you could make an image that looks really cool,
you'd be like, I did that.
but did you?
Yeah.
And then like our need for things to happen so quick, and that AI is something that's able to accomplish that for us. It's just kind of removing the soul out of everything,
you
and
skip
out of yourself as well.
you skip the learning curve.
It makes life boring.
Well, you
If-
skip the learning curve, and also, well, you continue.
Yeah, it skipped the learning curve, but just like everything becomes boring if it can be done so quick.
Mhm.
Like the amount of things that I've done in just class assignments in a lot of my photography courses that I spent hours doing, that, yeah, I could have typed a prompt and it would show up and I could turn it in. But the spending the hours on it, the actual like trying and failing and redoing and making, that is what makes anything good.
Mhm.
And it's just sad seeing how quickly things are being made without any actual like soul in
Yeah.
it.
I also think that there's a lot of things that are like found in the middle of the process.
Exactly.
Like when I'm writing things, I usually in my head I'm like, this is what I want it to end up like. And if I just put it in and it came out and I'd go, that's it, and I'm done. But when I sit down to make it, there's things along the way that it's like, well, actually, what about
Yeah.
this other thing? And so
Yeah, and I don't want to make anyone feel bad if like they need ChatGPT to help them out every now and then. Like, I don't want anyone to like think they're a horrible person. It's like natural for people to make things easier for themselves.
Yeah.
But just kind of like take a step back and think like, is this gonna help you in the long run? I mean, I don't know.
But I
Maybe-
think that's also like what John's talking about here, which is like Purdue should have it in classes so students know, like this is fine and this is like maybe not great and we
Yeah.
should talk about it more. He says in there right now it's kind of just like Purdue goes to its professors and is like, you decide.
Yeah. He also mentions that for classes where there definitely shouldn't be AI, that go back to in-person exams and in-person lectures, which might suck for a lot of people. But I think again it'll help in the long run to put people in an environment that'll be best for their learning when it comes to AI or not having AI. It's just scary stuff to think about because
Also,
it's
a little. You done?
scary.
I'm
scared.
sorry. I cut people off sometimes. And
Oh, you're
I'm not
good.
trying to.
I'm scared.
I'm just looking at this page, which is page 4, and next to his column, beautiful pictures.
Awesome pictures by Charlie
Where
Stapleton.
he
Thank you.
found objects around campus that look like letters, and it spells out Purdue, and I thought that was really cool.
Thank you.
Oh,
Did you not?
what? That's sick. AI couldn't do that.
No, it couldn't.
That's actually really cool.
Thank you.
It's a bike rack. Looking through it to another bike rack. I just kind of like foreground background stuff, so I really like that.
Can I get a little silly for the end of this?
Get a little silly. We should get silly. It's been a pretty daunting
Yeah.
episode.
There was a thing that came out Thursday, an opinions piece that came out Thursday that I worked on with Duncan Ways, where the first in an installment we're calling The Exponent Investigates, where we put Duncan's body on the line. We saw a sign where Pilk was banned in Ford, and we got to the bottom of it. Allegedly, yeah, that's in there. That's in there. Not really banned. Should be though. Pilk, for those that don't know, federally should be illegal.
We should bring it to the governor.
Pilk, for those who don't know, at Purdue is Powerade and milk, because in the dining court you can get the blue Powerade, and people put it in milk, and they've been doing it for roughly 3 years. It's like a BGR thing. I think it's the only hazing they have left. That's what Duncan said. He said
Clinging to the old ways.
that his team leaders told everyone to drink it, and I think this is this is all they've got left. And I think Purdue should consider this hazing. I think it's so we went out and we got Powerade and we got milk and some other stuff, and we tried a bunch of stuff online. If you look up Pilk, it's Pepsi and milk. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pilk Prime.
The article really got across how traumatic of an experience it was for Duncan Ways. Drinking all sorts of milk concoctions.
Maybe a video will come out at some
I would
point.
love to see the video.
Yeah, as we've touched on, I'd have to edit that together, and so we'll see.
but I think the world needs to see.
Oh,
Duncan.
you just watched the light
drain.
Yeah, the light
Drain
leave
from
his eyes. He starts and he's like, "Welcome, guys. We're doing this thing," and by the end of it, he's like, "Here's another one." No, Pilk, it's not good. Should it be banned? Probably not. Lilk, which we saw someone say they tried, which is lemonade and milk. Turns out the lemonade just curdles the milk immediately, and you're just drinking spoiled milk. That should be banned. If you're caught drinking that in the dining court, you should be kicked out for a week.
Yeah, that one looked bad. Poor Duncan, man. He's a real trooper too. But he doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to do this.
He does.
People kept saying why did you make him do this? This was his idea. He chose this. And, the Exponent, to get to the bottom of your issues, we are willing to make the sacrifice and put Duncan's body on the line.
Yeah.
I'm willing to make his sacrifice. So if you have things you want to investigate.
I was just about to say, let us know what you would want Duncan and Conrad to investigate. I have an idea.
Send an email to opinions@purdueexponent.org. That's 2 E's. People mess that up. It's Purdue, and then Exponent. So there's an E and an E back to back. I do check you can send letters to the editor.
Mm-hmm. You can call into the pod.
You can call into the pod. We don't have that technology.
You actually can't do that. But it would be nice.
It would be cool.
But we want to start reading out people's comments and thoughts on the pod.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty fun. Keep everybody engaged in here. So yeah, let us know what you want us to talk about, what you want.
Like last week, we did conspiracies, and we'd love to have ones
Yeah.
where, like, we say, hey, in 2 weeks, we're going to do whatever. It could be conspiracies again, could be something else. Write in, and we'll read them out and discuss.
At the time of recording, the Flat Earth man is on campus, indoctrinating another generation of students.
Is it flat
As
Earth or
he
is it
should.
moon?
It's both. It's the Earth is flat, therefore the moon landing was fake because there is no moon.
I see.
I sat and
It's
listened
just
to
a
a
part
whole
of a
spiel.
Grand Canyon
It's-
that fell off.
It's either that or like, as he claims, it's like the Earth is flat and there's a dome and the moon is a projection. And on the outside, it's all heaven.
You know, I don't want to, like, get into it too much because we're at the end
Oh,
here.
I don't want to either.
I'm just saying.
I don't like it.
I'm just saying that even if it's a projection, it's still the moon. It's not a moon,
I
how
see.
we decide it. But if we all point at it and say that's the moon, whatever it is, it's the moon.
I see.
So-
very interesting stuff. It's a beautiful campus. I just love walking around
Yeah.
and seeing everything and making memories and transitioning through life. Little bookend there to wrap it all up. Any last words from you guys?
Be kind to yourself and others.
Yeah. Charlie's nodding his head in agreement. So we want to thank you guys for joining us. Already shaking things up here at the Root, but we're muscling through and we're having a good time. Thank you for listening to The Root, where we get to the root of the issue, and we'll see you guys next week.